Have you ever been in the dilemma of not knowing how to ask for assistance? Hello, and today's Weekend Insight is going to be mainly about the ability to ask for help. Now, today I was coming out of a specific place, and I had a lot of things to carry. And I had things to carry, and before leaving the place that I was at, I was like, you know what, this is a lot. And the person that was with me didn't have that much to carry. But I didn't actually think to ask for help. And I was like, you know what, if that person that I was with did not naturally think that I might need some assistance, then it's fine, then I should be able to do it. But I need to take into account that my balance is kind of wobbly sometimes. That if I have too much stuff in my hands, I might trip and I might fall, which is exactly what happened today. And so, I'm not blaming him because of all the stuff that we put men through, which is we can do it our way, we can do it by ourselves, we don't need no help, we can take care of us, right? We're self-sufficient women. We can take care of us. We don't need a man. We can do it all by ourselves. I mean, we complain that they're not offering us help, but we don't ask for help either. So I'm not mad at him. I'm kind of reflecting upon how I could have asked for assistance without sounding like a spoiled brat. Well, first and foremost, I just want to see if, because the idea that, if they don't offer, then I should be able to do it, came initially to mind. So, but if they don't know, how can you assume? You can't assume. You should never assume, because when you assume, you make yourself to look like an ass. So, don't assume. So, please, God, angels, and guides, anyone for the highest good who has a message for my viewers and I, please come forward and share what headspace are we in when we are thinking of, okay, so how can I improve this situation? How can I make it so that I am seen as someone who is taking care of business instead of just putting on other people? So please, God, angels, and guides, anyone for the highest good who has a message for my viewers and I, please come forward and share what headspace are we in. And we got victim. Alright, so this is kind of in twofold. So if you feel like a victim, as in you are the victim of society, that they have to ask, for you to actually give, like the other person needs to ask for you to actually give them something to help you with, that could be where the victim mentality is. But if you switch the perception as in to see how can you ask, if you're in the headspace of how can you ask for assistance when you clearly see that you need it but you don't know how to approach it, in that state I would think that you were in a mentality of a victor. Okay? So now my next question to my scripture cards, please, God, angels, and guides, anyone from the highest good who has a message for my viewers and I, please come forward and share what scripture card will best help us to best help us to respond to these sort of things where we feel like what scripture card will best help us ask for assistance from others and not seem like the demanding or the like in a place of weakness where we ask for assistance by placing ourselves in a stance of power, right? What scripture card will best help us to ask for assistance from others without seeming like the victim, right? That we are coming from the right headspace to actually create what we want, which is interesting because in the first version of the victim versus victor cards, the victor card was actually named creator. So, like, creators or victims, people who feel like they are not in charge of their own life. So we got a card. So please, and the card is Romans book 12 verse 17 in the reverse, which would mean, do not repay anyone's evil for evil. Be careful to do what is right in everyone's eye. But in the reverse, it would be repay evil. Wait a minute, I need to think about this. So when you're asking for assistance from others, you need to be in a headspace of, okay, how can I get myself out of this situation? And when you are in that headspace, whatever got you, you can't think the way that got you in the predicament and ask for assistance in that headspace. I feel like that's what it is. You need to be in the headspace of, okay, so I'm creating what I want in this reality. And so it is not so much I demand that you assist me. It's more like I want you to co-create with me and create in order for me to create something that will get me out of this situation. Right? So my question to you is, when you are in a situation of weakness, what do you do to get yourself out of that headspace and into the correct headspace, that of a victor? Is what I want you guys to think about. So ponder that.